Oh, yep. We are on, guys. I need to get some line back quick. Good morning. Isaac here from One Up Fishing. Today we're checking out the highly recommended fishing spot, Gymea Bay Baths, behind me here. So they're in Gymea Bay, as the name suggests, and it's a big kind of boardwalk that goes out and around from like one side of the bay to the other. And on the inside is the swimming area of the baths, and then on the outside is where everyone comes to fish. It's probably one of the most, if not the most popular fishing spot in the Port Hacking, and I'd guess that's just due to the accessibility of it. You can park up the top. It's just a very short walk and some stairs down. There's toilets. The boardwalk itself, there's no boat ramp here, no boats coming and dropping and picking up passengers. So you can kind of come down here, get a spot, set up with your rods, and then just fish and not have to really worry about too much except for other people fishing. You can get very lucky and get, because it's up the end of the bay, get big schools of fish that kind of come in and sweep the bay. And that's when you want to make sure you have your live baits out, ready to get onto a salmon or even a kingy or something like that. So I've been here since 5:30, so we'll jump back to then. Okay, so this is my setup. Got this one rod here. This one's got a yacker on it, and it's got the sinker, so it's sitting on the bottom. Just cast that out and wait. And this other rod has got a yacker with a float, so that one's sitting on the surface. So if something comes by, whether it's deep or up near the surface, hopefully it'll find the live bait and we'll be on. And I've just got my other rod here with a sabiki or sabakai rig, just fishing for yakka and just going to stock up on bait while I wait for the liveys to be hit, hopefully. Alright, so I'll start collecting some yakka, some live ones as well to replace the ones I've got out, as well as just stocking up for some for the freezer. Ooh. Something chomped. Ooh. Let me fix that camera angle. Something chomped this in half. That's definitely a good sign. Alright, I'll show you my easy way to get yakkers. Obviously, You know, there's a bunch of different ways to get yakkers. So I use a sand mix, sand and kind of just bread, tuna, old bait, just mix a whole bunch of stuff in there. And the whole point of this is to cause a little feeding frenzy. So sometimes I find the yakkers are a bit hesitant to take your bait, whereas you throw this in, sinks down, all the fish rush in, they let their guard down, they get greedy and try and gobble up as much food. And then if you put your sabiki rig and they're baited with tiny bits of squid, if you put that in the burley cloud and just slowly jig it, you've got a good chance of getting a yakker fairly quickly. Some decent sized yakker here. They're not the little tiny baby ones, they're solid size. Little slimy mackerel. Jesus. So yeah, the other good advantage of the burley cloud is it attracts all the fish away from the other fishers on the wharf towards you. So you got a good chance of catching them. And when I throw it, I can see slimy mackerels, yakker, some big trevally swimming around. So this is just a small hook and a tiny bit of unweighted yakker. Throw in a cloud of burley and then let the yakker sink down, and then something will grab it. Just like that. More yaks. Don't go in the net. Oh, it was a trevally. We lost him. Had to tighten the drag because he was heading straight for the net. Another little slimy. Even got my bait back. That was just a piece of squid, unweighted on a hook. This live bait got decimated while I waited to catch another one. So there's stuff there, but fresh big yak on this 4,000 rod. So the guy next to me caught a big ass salmon. He was just using a live yakker under a float. Little trevally. Alright guys, that's the end of the session today down here at the Gymea Baths. So I'm leaving now. It's 10:30. I was here since 5:30. This is a weekday, by the way, and at the most we had were 15 people fishing the little boardwalk, and out of all those 15 people, only one guy, the guy next to me, he got a decent salmon. But yeah, 15 people fishing for a few hours, and that's the only decent fish caught. Yeah, not great results, but that's Gymea Bay Baths, super crowded, and this is a weekday. So if you come down on a weekend, it's going to be packed, like shoulder to shoulder, which I don't love, so you won't find me here on a weekend. But that's the end of today's session. A few mackerel, a few yakka, a little trevally. I caught a tailor, but I wasn't filming because I've run out of battery. But yeah, I'll be back for another session to try and get something else. But
Day 2.
Alright guys, day 2. I can only fish for a couple hours, so I've got something else on this morning. So I've just got some frozen bait with me this morning and a couple rods. So I've got some frozen yakka, some garfish and squid. So we'll chuck that out and see how we go. Alright, almost lost the rod. I almost lost it. I don't think I'll just be sitting the rod there anymore. This was a piece of garfish. Little pinky, little snapper. First fish of the morning, a little snapper, a little pinky. This guy almost pulled my rod in. It wasn't in a rod holder, it was kind of just sitting there and it did teeter up. Send him back. So this is my setup this morning. Got this rod here in a rod holder, and I've just got this rod that I'm holding slash leaving irresponsibly. And yeah, just circle hooks, sinkers, swivels, just ball sinker, just standard setup. And just got a mix of bait down here. Garfish and yakka. We've got some more in the bag. And yeah, just sending it out. The bait, I send it out, it doesn't last long. It definitely gets nibbled to pieces. but just a lot of juvenile small fish around here. Just like that. Absolutely shredded. I might put some squid on the other rod, just because squid is a bit more resistant to small fish pecking it. Very constant nibbles. This is a piece of yakka. Just reeling in this squid, and there's something on the end here. What can it be? It's not fighting too crazy. Looks like another little pinky. And he's not even hooked in the mouth, he's hooked in the bottom of the throat, which made him seem a little bit heavier. If you hook a fish foul, not in the mouth, they always seem a bit bigger, because when you're dragging them back in, they're not very streamlined. There he goes. Another annoying pinky. This is the last bit of squid, and then I've just got one yakka left. And then that's it for the frozen bait. Just been feeding the juvenile fish all morning. And while I've been waiting for my bait to get hit, I've been tossing around this very pearlescent white squid jig, because the water is a bit dirty just due to all the rain we've had last week. So I'm hoping that white colour will cut through all the murkiness, but no squid yet. You'd be very lucky. Like squid here, you can get them, but fairly uncommon, only because it's so overfished here. Like there's squid, but I mean, if everyone's coming down every day trying to get them, they get picked off pretty quick.
Meanwhile.
All right, let's do a giveaway on the channel, but with a little bit of a twist. So how it'll work is I'll take a few goodies, I'll bundle them up into a package, and then I'll hide that package at a fishing spot. I'll call it Loot Stash. Here's the goodies: a Rovex fishing jersey in large, a Bite Science critter and jig head multi-pack, an Atomic Hards crank hard body lure, and 2 1-up fishing stickers. Here's it all packaged up, and here I am at Gymea Bay Baths. First to find it gets to keep it. I plan on doing more of these in future, so make sure you're subscribed and click the bell notification. That'll make YouTube notify you when a new video comes out, giving you the best chance to be the first one to come find it. Anyway, let's go hide it. Alright guys, I'm back in the car. The loot stash is hidden. Here's a clue. First one to find it gets to keep it. Good luck.
Safely.
Alright guys, so I've got all my rods set up. Now I just need to catch a couple live bait to send out on them. So hopefully I can get the yakkers to come and get on the chew. Alright, yakka number 1. Rigged up. Godspeed, little fella. So I found when I was shining my head torch down at the bait, no yakkers came to have a look. And then as soon as I turned the torch off, I got a hook up within 5 seconds. So I think they're all just a bit hesitant if the light's on. But turn that light off and you should be able to catch some. We're on. Oh, yep. We are on, guys. And it's just peeling line, which we don't want because there's a lot of moorings out there. Come on, come back towards me, matey. Jesus. I'm gonna get spooled. Oh. Alright, that was a good run. Oh, I need to get some line back quick. Nah, we've lost it. We've lost it. And I honestly doubt I would have gotten it back in between all those boats. Jesus. What a run. We've still got the hook and everything. Let's quickly get another yakka and send it out. Man. That was quite the run. Something is lurking out there. Wonder what it was. Maybe a big ass salmon. But yeah, if you look out, there's plenty of boats. And like with a run that big, it would be out past a few boats. So if it then went left or right instead of coming back straight, we would have been wrapped around some moorings for sure. A little spoonful of sandy burley. Send down the sabiki. Whoa, look at the reflection of the clouds on the water. Trippy. Oh, there's a big fat porcupine toadfish down there. I think I want to get about half dozen yakkers in that bucket, and then I'll switch to trying to just catch something else. Double. Two fish, yakka and a brim. Oh shit. This is a trevally. Trying to catch yakkers and you hook a trevally, you gotta hold on. The issue is if he goes under the jetty, he's going into the net. But So far he's staying outside the net. Oh no. And round the pole I'm off. Good luck landing a trevally when you've just got a little yakka rod going. So yeah, I've actually got the place to myself this morning, which is a rarity, but I'll definitely make the most of it. I've got this rod with a float and a live yakka. We've got the rod down there with a float and a live yakka. This is my rod to catch the yakkas with a sabiki, and then this is just my other rod to cast out in the meantime while I'm waiting for the live baits to be hit. People don't like these cormorants. But I mean, it's just a bird living its life. I think they're pretty cool. Nope. Nope. That's what you don't want. You don't want them eating the ones you've hooked. Alright, that's the end of the 3 days, so not too bad. We got some fun fish in there. We didn't land that big monster, whatever that was. Comment below what you think it was. Maybe a huge salmon, maybe a giant kingy, who knows. Anyway guys, that's Gymea Bay Baths. If you come down, I definitely recommend bringing a bit bigger rod with a float and sending out a live bait. You just never know, and it might be your lucky day and you might be onto a decent solid fish like old mate with the salmon. I will be back and we will try and land that monster, so subscribe so you don't miss that next episode. And if you've already subscribed, consider becoming a member. Click on join or memberships below for more information, and I'll see you in the next one.